if you guys, can you clap for us? Perfect. Cool.
Okay, so you gonna introduce yourself? Do you
Okay.
don't have to?
If you want me to, I'll introduce.
Cool.
Okay, hi guys, my name is Temba Bavuma. I was born in Cape Town, I stay in Johannesburg, and I'm a professional athlete.
Okay, Temba, what is the significance of water to you?
Significance of water, look, I think obviously being a human, water is an essential of life. We need water to survive, so having access to water is obviously quite important. Me being a sportsman as well, you know, water is very important, it's super important from a hydration point of view, from a recovery point of view, in a lot of ways. So yeah, super important water. I'm not going to go into the nutritional value behind water and all of that, but water is very significant to our well-being.
And how has water played a role in your life?
Water has obviously played a massive role in my life. The reason I'm sitting here is because of water. I've been fortunate, I guess, in that I've had access to water, access to clean water. You know, we live in a country in South Africa where things are not equal. You know, there's a big inequality, and having access to certain resources is restricted or limited to other people within our country. And I guess for me, I was fortunate enough to be on the good side, where things like water were generally always there. So I mean, you know, water has been a big part. You know, even on the cricket field, like I said, even my days on playing soccer, you know, water was always there. Whenever you got kicked, you know, we never had physios or anything like that. They just threw water on us, and somehow that water did its magic thing. So yeah, water has been big.
Sorry, you interrupted me. Can you just can you expand upon the part where you talked about water being thrown on in Fisher? I think you just interrupted him there, and you can just look at him while you answer the question. Yes.
Okay, I'll just pick it up. Yeah, water was always there. As a professional athlete, cricketer, you know, from obviously drinking the water, from using the water from a recovery point of view, we do ice baths, and that's obviously water, just cold water. And even my young days playing soccer in the township in Langa, we never had physios or doctors or anything like that. Whenever you got kicked, the coach would throw water in you, and somehow that water did its magic healing. So yeah, water has always been there from my upbringing, and also on the sporting field.
So what's your take on water being a human right?
Water is a human right. I do believe that people should have the access, people should have equal access to resources within the country, and water obviously falls a part of that. From a basic, simplistic point of view, as humans, we can't live without water. We can't live without clean water. We need that in our daily lives. So, how that comes about, you know, that it becomes a human right. I guess that's for the powers that be and all those relevant parties. But I do think that people should have equal access to clean water.
And the last one here is, do you have a story that you can think about that relates to water?
A story that relates to water, the one I can think of. So I grew up in Langa, and while I was in Langa, I was attending school at Sax College, and obviously the environment at Sax is totally different to what I knew that time in Langa, Kwalanga. And water for us, there's always the thing that the brothers consume, you know, and that was the same with me. And I remember guys that I grew up then, they were big in surfing. And I guess through my interaction with them, we obviously became friends. and guys would invite me to come surf with them, you know, either at Fishhook or whoever. And I remember telling my mother that, you know, on Saturday I'm joining Kyle, I'm joining the boys to go, I'm fishing. I mean, not fishing, surfing. And my mother told me that if I go into the beach, Elwandle, I'll end up in China. So that's always been stuck in my head whenever anything that has to do with surfing. Where I grew up as well, there's a pool right there. So, you know, whenever it was December, whenever it was the holidays, whenever it was hot, we could obviously always use the pool, jump over at night into the pool. And I guess that's how we learned how to swim. Weren't necessarily formal teachings, all of that, going to swimming classes and all of that. You kind of learned in the water. And if you drown, you know, we'll laugh about it, but there were always the older guys who were there to help you, kind of teach you to swim. But yeah, those are I guess the more funnier stories that I have about water. Even from a cultural point of view, you know, water is quite significant. It's quite symbolic in a way. I'm Xhosa, and within our culture, water is within the different clans. In Xhosa, water means quite a lot. Obviously, with me specifically, my clan, water is I don't know what the term is in English. I'm trying to think now in this Xhosa as well, but ibalulekile, you know, Amanzi Yimpilo. You know, whenever we want to interact nabaphansi, amanyanga, you know, they'll tell us to go to the beach, you know, put your feet in, you know, just throw water on yourself and then say what you say, you know, uyibeke imbilini yakho, say whatever that's on your heart. And obviously from a religious point of view, you know, I obviously grew up in a Christian family. Water is obviously important, from baptism, holy water and all of that stuff. So yeah, I guess the more and more I speak about it, the more I guess I start to understand a bit more that water is significant, and I think it becomes even more important that there is a strong drive to make it a human right, to make it something that is accessible to everyone, not just here in South Africa and the world.
Sorry, what? Can you just say to him your clan name or what is your clan, so we can connect the water to your clan name?
Okay.
And maybe just speak about the actual connection there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, my clan is Ngobai, Umsuto, Keche. That's on my dad's side. Ndikhulele or ndizalelwe koKhwalo, Ncuthu Songobese, and that's more where the water connection is. Even I go by, you know, there is the water connection. So like I said, you know, if we want to communicate with Abaphansi without necessarily doing something formal like ukusila, ukuxhela, you know, they would say to me, ba iya elwandle, wherever you are, ufike ungena ufake inyawo ujule amanzi kuwe, and then uthethe le nto ufuna uyithetha. There's the belief ukubana baphila khona, baphila phansi kwamanzi. That's how I understand. That's what I was told. So yeah, that's the connection with water.
Good. Do you have anything else?
Nothing else from
I have a few questions, obviously just... Hey?
Like I think a lot of points have been...
Yeah,
in
good.
between,
Definitely.
Yeah,
what can, like, you know, I think it's Bruce Lee that says, like, be like water. If I say that to you, what comes up?
You want me to include that in the...
Yeah.
In the answer?
Yeah, like, so, otherwise, what can water teach you? Like, is it adaptability? Is it, like, what is water, in that context? That you could just answer him.
Yeah, so I think water from a philosophical perspective, I think there's always, for me, there's a calming effect to water. Actually, just thinking about it now, so me being a cricketer, being a batsman, I've found that whenever I'm about to go bat, I'll always throw water on my face. I don't know why I do that, but I'll always throw water on my face. And I guess for me, from trying to be calm, from trying to be clear, trying to be present within the moment, that probably helps in kind of aligning the energies within me and making sure that, like I said, I'm present in the moment. I'm kind of in a space where there's not a lot of thinking, but things are kind of just instinctive. You mentioned the quote about Bruce Lee, be like water, be still like water. For me, what that means to me, it's about being present in the moment, allowing the thoughts to happen in your head. It's obviously hard to control the thoughts, but not judging those thoughts, kind of just letting those thoughts pass by in your head. And if you think about moving water, it's almost as if those thoughts are just kind of passing by, but the water is still there, the water is still strong.
Yeah. Cool. 100%. You're a meditator?
Me?
Do you
Nah,
meditate?
not really.
Not really.
Not really. For me, meditating, it's more, not so much for me meditating, but probably it's the same thing, but just trying to be aware of like your thoughts, trying to be aware of your breath. I guess that's meditating.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Cricket is meditating. Anything can be meditating.
Yeah.
But being present,
Yeah. I guess, yeah. That's a form of meditation, I guess.
that's just a question for me. Okay, but is there anything else?
Apart from the pictures, we cool.
Alright.
Pictures and then like a young tour and then we go.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
Cool. So Sachin, like the whole point of the stay is for us to have the words human rights.
Sure.